Hey, good morning here. This is Mini Pots, and I am working on a few things, and I wanted to do a list of what I'm looking forward to in the coming new year. Now, I have one title that's being released in October. Rest of them will probably be before then. Um, what I'm really looking forward to right this second is Hide, Stone, and Bone, a Osprey published document. And it is supposed to be this month. It is a prehistoric, hence I'm working on the um, caveman romp where you have a clan and you work with them to get them up and keep your guys alive. And it is possibly, I don't know, there is a review on strategy and soldiers, or I heard a review on a podcast I listened to. And of course, do I remember the podcast name? No, I do not. And I apologize for that. That is not good reporting. Um, but I saw this. I've always been interested in it. I like the idea of building up a clan um, of cavemen um, raising boys. You probably understand that, where that comes from. And the you fight mammoths, you fight saber-toothed tigers, hence the saber-toothed tiger. And I'm trying something different for this game. These bases by War Games Atlantic, and they both work okay on it. One's a leaping um, saber-toothed tiger, which it sort of looks sort of different, but anyway. And I did manage to find some of the DZ woolly mammoths, so I will be getting those, and you will see them on. They're unassembled and unpainted, which I was excited for, and hopefully some other things will cross my purview and I'll be able to have the lucre to get them at the time. So that one I'm really looking forward. That's Hide, Stone, and Bone, a Osprey published document. I think the author's last name is Hunt. Austin Hunt, I think is who it is. Um, Next is Warriors of Athena. I had all those Greek hoplite guys on my bench, and that's what that's for. Plus the Brethren, plus the Bronze Shield Silver Coin game. Um, I am. There's also they could be used in a lot of different things. I'm thinking about, and that's part of the reason why I did that. The Don't know much about it. There is a review of the Heroes book up on YouTube. Look for it. It was released on Sunday, the 10th or 11th. I forget what day Sunday was. And look for it. It's worth watching. It goes into some pretty decent detail. I think you'll like it. My only concern is with a lot of the Joseph McCullough games is that there's a preset scenario, and the way it's done, you need to have a lot of special scenery and a lot of special monsters and that's my experience with Silver Bayonet as well as Frostgrave. So I'm concerned about that. If it had more generic stuff, um, but in any case, I'm excited about the game. I'm going to be doing it, and I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to play it, but that's okay. Um, I am really, 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 really looking forward to that. There is a little bit of flash on these metals from minis from cobblestone, and I am just trying to get it all off. And um, this confused my kid. He's like, "Why does he have horns?" Um, anyway, so that's Warriors of Athena. Next one by Osprey is in October. I'm excited about this. I don't remember a lot of the details. I did see a playtest version of it early on, and it's called Signs and Wonders by the author of A War Transformed, Frederick somebody, which I'm sure that's a lot of help. But if you look up A War Transformed, you'll find out who wrote it. He does have a Facebook presence, and he does have occasionally, so you might try to follow him if you're interested. It is a pike and shot type of game, but with fantasy elements. So you have your retinue, and they may have recruited a pixie or a fae to be part of it. Minis for like silver bayonet. I'm thinking the monsters. Um, there's a bunch that Osprey's releasing right now. Something in Tomahawks. What other group of Bloody Miniatures does some cool miniatures, which I think would be perfect for it. And I don't know if it has a solo mode or not, and that may have changed. It didn't in the original playtesting. I did send him a couple messages about it, and he replied that no, as of that time. This was in the late fall, I believe, or early fall. That at that time they had no, and I'm sorry to, I thought I was in focus. No solo mode. And he did reveal that they are working or trying to work on a small skirmish, a war transform type of thing with a solo mode, which I went to 15 millimeter for that, so I have not completed my war bands, but we'll get that. And that's for War Transformed. The title I'm looking forward to that's going to be published in October right now is Signs and Wonders. And again, by the author of A War Transformed. By Will from Forbidden Psalm. His legitimate Salvage sci-fi game. It is you are a group of hackers and space adventurers who are out on the fringe collecting the scrap and boarding the derelict things that have popped up around the galaxy and getting the stuff off of them. It goes into the Mara space station, which is talked about briefly in his last one, the Endless something. I almost said Endless Pursuit of Happiness, which is not. It's a totally different type of game. Let me get that title for you. So this book, The Endless Horrors from Between the Stars, very far from Endless Pursuit of Happiness, or is it? That is up to you to decide. And this is a supplement that you could get off of Space Penguin Inc. Will's site. I don't know if it's on Exalted Funeral site or not, but it mentions the Mara space station, and in the legitimate Salvage, he is going into more detail about it. This expansion takes the Endless Horrors from Between the Stars and transfers it to a space station reality. And I thought it mentioned it. Let's see. No, this is Tengeku Station. Anyway, I apologize. Where did I see the Mara space station? And like, this is probably very similar to what we'll find in legitimate Salvage, and there may be a crossover. I'm not sure. A cosmic horror sci-fi expansion for Endless Horrors Between the Stars miniature game requires the core book to play. Dagoku Station is dying. Care to join it? In any case, I am looking forward to that. That is a science fiction one, and I know we are all waiting for the redo of Kill Sample Process, and I just spilled all my filings and stuff on my book. That's wonderful. So you are getting your money's worth on this episode here. And I will have to get that swept up. Yeah, I know. I won't ever do anything with this, but it's there. And I will possibly have it. I keep the little plastic bits, and there's the idea that if you save enough that you can melt them all together and make your own mini. And I'm sure I've had that, but with these types of accidents, you end up losing a good percentage of it. And you find someone's head. Okay. We're going to leave that for after this. So, next one, his physical publication of Run from the Dark and Psalms of Right. Yes, so those are the physical books that I'm interested in that Will has already worked on or finished are the Run from the Dead Forbidden version, where it's a miniatures game set in the Run from the Dark. That's the Run from the Dark universe or world. And he has one that's going to be published by Alecti Studios, Dark Age of Onwin, and looking forward to that. I'm thinking it probably has minis involved and some other things, and that's why it's going through Alecti Studio. And they were supposed to get it up this past fall, but they pushed it back. Really looking forward to that. There are some play tests of that on the their homie buddy. I forget what their name is. They are a group of, or a couple friends, and they do a podcast as well as a video cast of different things, and it's in the wargaming field. Wargaming subject, I guess, is a better than field. And they were given a playtest version of it, so they have these things up there, and I think they stopped it because they were doing it pre-Kickstarter, and I was sort of surprised to see that the Kickstarter was pulled until this coming up year. But it makes sense because he's got a lot of other things going on, and the guy who runs Alecti Studios, where this is going to be run through. Alecti Studios did Blaster, which was a series of 4 authors: Sean Sutter, Mike Hutchinson, Ash Barker, and Joe McCullough, the guy who wrote Silver Bayonet. So all 4 game designers, they did a little zine for about 2 years during COVID. And that's how Alecti Studio got started, as I think. I'm not really in touch with that. But I think that's what it was. Something started during COVID that carried over. and they all did some really cool, like Sean Sutter during that process did Sludge, and the Ash Barker did a couple of things where he expanded some of the stuff for his zombie game. Last Days, I think is what it's called, a zombie survival game, and we added some different versions of zombie stuff. There's a Wizard Duel game that was in that, and there's a bunch of different things. Some expansions, I think, for Relic Blade. I'm sorry, the Sean Sutter stuff. So there's, it's worth looking at it, worth picking it up. But those are the games I'm looking forward to. There's another one by Will from Forbidden Psalm fame. Patrick Todoroff is doing Scrapjacks, and there is a free quick start guide on Wargame Vault and the what else? Facebook Stalker 7 channel, and it is worth looking at and worth getting. He's been doing this thing using dice pools where you have two dice, either 6, 8, or 10 for your abilities, and he's doing that for this. It looks like it's a little bit more of a campaigny type game and have some more randomness to it, in the sense that you don't have to have pre-set up scenarios. You can generate your ship that you're looking at and boarding, and this is and set in outer space. So you are a group of 4 or 5 adventurers, and you make your living off of collecting the in-orbit crap, or actually it's in outer space crap, because it's a little bit more, from what I saw of it, a little bit more broad, or imagine, I guess is a better word, until we actually have the physical, where you are traveling and you have been hired to clean up the different derelict debris around the universe, and that is Scrapjacks by Patrick Todoroff. I'm sure he's working on a couple other things. I haven't heard or seen much of it. King John is a expansion for the Barons War that I'm looking forward to. It is I don't know anything about it. I have picked up the Barons War rulebook. I at some time will get into it, and I just know that it's coming out, and I'm sure there's going to be a whole new slew of minis, and from Wargames Atlantic, around that, maybe even some footsore stuff. So those are the games I'm looking forward to in 2026. And please let me know if you were interested in this. Maybe there's something that is crossing your periphery, what you're exposed to in that I have not mentioned that you think I might be interested in, and leave it in the comments below. I really appreciate the time that you took to watch this, and I made a little bit of progress on some minis here, and also just shared with you some different stuff, hopefully. So thank you. Remember to like and subscribe if you like this content, and hope to see more. Thank you again.